Hello everybody and welcome to this quick update video for Niche Genetic Survival game. We just launched a pretty big update, which is the Whale Island and Flying update. This is kind of a mix between a Kickstarter update and a community voting update. So we added some of the things we promised in the Kickstarter. Now there are only very few things left that we still have to add. And we also took into account some of the things that our community members voted for. So I'm going to show you what has been added in the past few months. Hope you enjoy. So first off, we're actually going to head over to Whale Island, which is one of the things we added. So here we are on Whale Island. This was a special reward from the Kickstarter, so that if one person supported us with $5,000 and more, we would build in a whale island, and we built a little story around it, and we're very happy that it actually worked out, and so we can actually now start off here at the whale's fin. These are my two procedurally generated animals, Meko and Dukuban. So we're going to head into Whale Island, more towards the body, and see what we may encounter there. So here I've come across a nice example of stuff we added. We added more trees. So there is now an acacia tree, which is this one, which is very useful, especially in the savannah, because you can rest in its shade and then it's not so hot. We have an aspen tree, which is basically just for you to sit on in case you could fly. We also added palm trees and mangrove trees, which you will maybe see later. There now we could just hear some new sound effects that we also added for the whale. Sometimes we'll hear it do cute whale sounds. Now I have just arrived at the whale's nostril, where it actually sometimes comes out from water. So let's see if we can catch it doing that. Yay! And it just did. This is actually not just a visual thing, but it also helps the plants in a radius, like around this radius, to regrow. So it's very helpful if you live around here. All the stuff will regrow all the time. So now we have actually arrived at the whale's head. And from here on out you can travel away from the island. And the cool thing is that now you can actually tell the whale where it should bring you. So you have free choice of all the island sets that you already unlocked. So you can choose wherever the whale should bring you, which can be very useful in terms of shortcuts. Look, there is the eye of the whale. In order to get to Whale Island, of course you can just start from sandbox mode and have it as your start island. But it will also occasionally show up when you're just traveling around, both in story mode and in sandbox mode. So you have a gradually increasing chance to encounter the whale at some point. There, he's usually, or actually he's always, at the right port, and the port fields are of a bluish color, so you will recognize that it looks different from normal ports. So I guess this is it in terms of Whale Island. Heading over to the next thing now. The second big new feature that we added besides Whale Island is the flight ability, which I'm going to show you in a second. But first, I mutated some pure animals that actually looked like this into those two forks in order to actually show you all the new genes we have added. So, where do I start? So, we added wings, of course, which are necessary if you want to fly. If you have only one wing, you are not able to fly, so you actually have to breed a creature with two wings to get use of all these cool new flying features. Other than that, on her we can see the bird beak, because if you only have those as paws, it's very hard to collect. You don't have any collecting ability, you don't have any strength, you don't have digging ability, so it's almost impossible to survive. And so together with the wings, you can use your beak to actually go ahead and do some digging and do some collecting, which is very useful. On her head we also have the antenna, which gives you a very cool new thing called weather prediction. This is actually a gene designed by one of our backers. And here you can just mouse over this little icon and then it will tell you what kind of weather it will be in the next few days. So she predicts that in 3 days the weather will be sunny and 0 hot. So that should be survivable. Other than that, on her, we also have the Scorpion Tail, which is a new tail gene slot, which was designed by the community. And this basically makes you venomous, even though you don't have any poison fangs. So this is just basically a new way to become venomous. And here, with this guy, we have a new thing called the purr snout, which is very cool. You can use it here. And then your animal does a little purr noise. And what this does is it will heal all surrounding animals a little bit every day. So if they're hurt, you can purr, and then they will receive a status effect called healing. And then for a few days they will recover a little bit of health. So that is what the purr snout is for. And other than that, this guy also has the new Peacock Tail, which is the first gene that is actually different whether you have it on a male or a female, because it only is really working if you put it on a male. And what it does is that it will make wild females follow you. You just basically look very, very attractive. We also, with this, we added the attractiveness gene, and wild females will just be like, oh, look at this guy, and they will follow you around until you're ready to invite them to your tribe if you want to. But in the female, if you have a peacock tail, it will just be like a very small bush of feathers back there, and it doesn't have any effect. So this is really only just useful on your males. Other than that, we also added another tail gene called the tail fin, which is basically a dolphin tail, which gives you more swimming ability. But you have to discover that one for yourself. So now to show you the flying ability with this girl, I'm going to head over this tree, which is also one of the new trees, a palm tree. Up here you can also build nests. And I also want to show you one big cool new thing that you can do. You can call out to attract new animals. So I can do that now. I will call, and then sometimes, I was very lucky just now, sometimes a wild animal will actually show up. It also very much depends on your pack size. So now that I only have 2 pack members, chances are pretty high that someone will react to it. If I have a huge pack already, then wild animals are a bit like, oh, those guys are already such a big pack, I'm not sure I'm going to be of real use over there. What you can also do now is attack Bluebird. So if this guy comes any nearer to where I'm sitting and I have flying ability, I can just go ahead and swoop it. Oh no, that thing is sick, go away. Come on, you bird. Oh, also a new ability is the swooping ability. So with flying animals you can not just attack prey, but you can also swoop at it. Also, for example, here, I could just now basically fly over and attack the rabbit at the same time as I move to the field. But I'm going to do this to the bluebird now. Go away. Now what should it, rabbit? Oh, it has also gotten away. But you basically get an idea of what this is all about. Another thing that I can maybe show here is the coconuts, which can be a little bit dangerous. So I'm heading over here now. And maybe, if I'm unlucky, a coconut will fall down on my head. No, it didn't. That's good for me. I'm going to try again over here. As you can see, I'm constantly healing, which is also very nice. Come on, coconut. Actually, let's go over here and shake that. Oh, now it hit me. So this does a new thing, which is the stunned effect, and my animal basically just now for one day is unable to move because of the stunned effect. And there's also lots of other stuff going on, as we're all used to it. So let's heal you a little bit. Another thing we have added, you can see up there at the top of the screen, which is the day counter. It shows you how many days you have survived in total and how many days you have survived on a specific island. Well, I think this concludes the big new features of the update. We also added some small improvements, like leeches cannot attach to poison body creatures, or if you are a spiky body baby, birds cannot snatch you away. Those were all suggested by the community. As of right now, we're starting the next round of the community votings. So if you have any cool ideas or suggestions or improvement that should be made or implemented in Niche, please join us. Head over to the forums. There is a button on the start screen just in the left corner. So if you go there, click on it, you will be brought right to the forums where you can post your suggestions, where you can upvote other people's suggestions, and maybe we'll see your suggestions implemented in the next update. Thanks a lot for listening and see you around.